Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Rob.
I'm Mel.
Kyle.
And we're here to play Comic Hunters, a game published by Spin Master Games that we purchased on our way to Gen Con in the summer of 2024 at a Barnes & Noble in the United States of America. We paid for it ourselves. It was not provided by a publisher. Full disclosure. I mean, I'll complain about the game just like I would any other game. Doesn't matter if a publisher gave it to me, but just so you know, we paid for this with our own money, so we can say whatever we want. And we don't care. I mean, we're going to have a great time. I'm just kidding. Welcome, everybody. We're going to do a live playthrough. We're going to teach Kyle the game. Kyle's never played it. Mel and I played it last night for the first time with our daughter, 3 players. It can go 2 to 4 players. There are different rules if you're playing 2 and solo. There is a solo. Yeah, that box is wrong on the picture there. It's a 1 to 4 game. I don't know. It's the only image I found online, okay? So I just used that, but I guess I could have used this image. Anyways, 1 to 4 players in the English version we have. This supposedly was a Brazilian game for a few years. I saw people hyped up about it and were like doing fan translations of the rule books and stuff. And you know, there's some licensing thing happening or something. I remember this being talked about before Gen Con, and then when it was announced at Gen Con, we looked into it, and I was like, yep, it's the same game. And then we're like, let's try to get it. And it came out early at some Barnes & Nobles before the Gen Con release, so we ended up grabbing a copy so we didn't have to kill anybody while we were at Gen Con to try to obtain a copy, because this was a pretty sought-after game there. People were like running for it, limited copies, trying to kill each other, all that stuff. Black Friday kind of thing. But anyways, we avoided that. So we have the game. We played it, finally. Been a few months sitting on the shelf staring at us, but I already knew what it was. It's a set collection game. Pretty lightweight, 2.11 it says here on BoardGameGeek.com. I think it's like less than that, but that's what the fans think, I guess. It's rated 14 plus because the publisher didn't want to pay to say it's 10 plus. And then 60-minute playtime, pretty accurate. And again, there are special rules if you're going to play it 2-player, special additional rules if you're going to play it solo. We're going to play the 3-player variant, which just has like a couple tweaks in setup. So it's very similar to the 4-player game, but the 4-player game is considered like the standard game. But you'll get the idea. And then I'll teach you guys watching, we'll teach Kyle, we'll play a full playthrough today, and then we'll kind of give our thoughts on the game. But if you're looking for a game, especially we're in like holiday season here, it's in December of 2024. Christmas is in like 12, 13 days, whatever. So if you're like, crap, I need a gift, and you have a fan that's like maybe not even a board gamer or very light gamer, and they like Marvel movies, comic books, whatever, this might be the grab. Just hit up Barnes & Noble, even if you don't have like a local gaming store. This is like available more wide than just local gaming stores too, if you don't have one. So I'm pretty sure there's a game like we'll see in Target if it's not already there and stuff like that. So but yeah, definitely it hits the mark of like, it's probably one I'll take around the holidays and like try to play with people, or I would. I already have other games that I'd rather play this year than this with them. Glowing review. But yeah, this is definitely that kind of game where like, yeah, if you have a few fans that just set collection, trying to get some points, collecting comics, has like official Marvel comic book covers in it, which is like the big appeal. Very trash component quality, but very nice looking graphic design and artwork on the cards, obviously, but everything else is kind of, you know. Anyways, but yeah. Christopher, thank you for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. All right. Oh, one thing I want to point out. When I was reading the rules, I thought something was a little weird. And then I looked up on BGG in the forums and I found this official clarification. If you have the English edition that you bought this year, or you bought this and you came here and you found it and you want to know how the game works and plays, I just need to let you know in the English rulebook there is an incorrect rule. And this is an official publisher employee from Spin Master Games correcting it. So basically, after you do and you'll see later, hopefully I remember and I'll point it out in the game, but it's basically the part where you do the auction. The last player is forced to take whatever, lot of comics is left in the auction. And in the default rules from the Brazilian translated one, which I found that rulebook first and was like, hey, it's different. This is weird. But it did seem off because players who can bid like $1, for example, or like one comic from their stash, quote unquote, and get a whole bunch of comics for cheap, right? You're just bidding. It's like simulating eBay. And the final player who doesn't win any bids is forced to take some comics at the end. They, in the original rules, and it's corrected here, you only pay like 1 point per comic instead of like being forced to pay the actual cost of each comic, which is a huge difference because you're bidding on 3 cost comics at that point. So if the last stash had like 4 comics in it, you're paying 12 when someone else could have got away with like 5 comics for like $3. Mm-hmm. So it didn't seem right mathematically. I thought it was weird, and then I started looking up on BGG and I found a thread about it. So yeah, it should only be that last player in an auction should only have to pay 1 per comic left over. And if they don't have enough to afford even that, they just pick which ones they want and the rest get tossed. So just throwing that out there ahead at the video in the front, just in case you're like, oh, I'm going to watch this. And you know, you might be watching later and go, they're doing it wrong. That's not what my rule book says. I just want to get this out of the way because it's kind of important, because I did start looking up some how to play videos and I found there's a few incorrect ones with the wrong rules from the English rule book. And I was like, oh, damn it. So this is going to be something where like people are going to buy this game and like probably never even go watch a video about it or anything because it's not that complicated. But it does mess up the game, I think. Kind of hurt the player who could be in last position, really hurt them, because then they won't get as many comics because they'll be too expensive. And it could create a snowball effect where the game's like not balanced. And then people don't have as much fun if it's not like a close game, right? Thankfully, it's only like a 1-hour game, but still, that sucks when the math is thrown off that heavy. So anyways, I just want to throw that out there. Hopefully that helps somebody. But yeah, there's an official post on BGG about it from an official publisher from Spin Master Games. And it's called Rule Clarification for Auction Stage. Just throwing it out there. So different than the English rule book. I'm sure they'll correct it in future printings and stuff, but you know, a lot of people bought it this year and the rule's wrong. So if you already own it and you haven't played it yet, hopefully you watch this and it helps you. But yeah. All right. Matthew says, hey, Robin Mel, I'm looking forward to the stream as I have over 2,000 comic books.
Oh.
Can you list each one one by one in chronological order, please? Actually, no. Can you list them by value? I'd like to know all of them. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we're going to play Comic Hunters. It's a kind of smallish box game. Again, here it is, just so you know if you're looking for it. Card game about collecting comic books. Just wanted to go over the setup part that's different for 3 players. There are 3 different decks. These are based on the ages of comics and their value. So we have a deck of cards, and the cards on the other side look like so. They have like comic art. I'll go in more detail about like what's on the card that's important, but I just need you to know, I just need you to know in these decks, we have contemporary comics. So the year 2000 until now. And they're only valid 1. These you'll find mainly in a comic book store because they carry more recent stuff. This deck is modern age from the 80s and 90s primarily. These are worth obviously twice as much as these ones because they're worth 2. In these comics, you'll find mainly at flea markets. And then the third one is considered Golden Age comics. There were 3 each. And again, they're color coded. We got green, blue, and red. And on the other side, you'll see it's got a blue banner across the side for blue and, you know, green and red. And these are from the 60s and 70s. They're more expensive. And these you'll find basically on the auction websites, aka knockoff eBay. And you can find all 3 actually in conventions, and we'll visit all 4 of these locations over 3 rounds. But I just wanted to let you know in here, we removed, because we're playing 3 players, we removed 2 heroes, and those are Black Panther and Black Widow, if I remember correctly, right? And we've removed their cards from the game. You can remove any heroes except for, I forgot, Doctor Strange. I just threw all of them at Kyle, not explaining what I was doing, and just said, hey, like, what's your favorite or whatever? And those 2 are at the bottom. So if any Black Widow or Black Panther fans out there, Kyle thinks he's better than you and has other heroes he prefers. So we can blame Kyle. No, I'm just kidding. I did the same thing to our daughter to make her pick the 2 without her knowing what's going on. She didn't even know she was playing the game at all. I just like sent it to her. I'm like, hey, out of these 8 heroes, which are your least favorite? And she picked
Hulk
and Thor, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, Kyle's gonna. It's not what Kyle would pick. I know this. Anyways, so I've removed all the comics from there, all 3 decks that only have that hero in the top left corner, and we can look at cards a little closely. So these are all out of the game because we're playing 3-player. And back in the box, so the decks are a little smaller. Now, one of the cards on the other side, I'll show you an example of one of the Black Panther ones. I took the sleeve off just so we can see a little more cleanly here. You'll see the heroes that are considered in the comic along the side here on the top. There might be 2 or 3. Then down here you'll find a highlight of the comic. It could be a versus, it could be a #1 issue, it could be the first appearance of somebody, it could be a special edition, or it could be a new look. A new look for that hero. So it could be a new version, a new character wearing the suit, whatever. So there's like special edition, there's #1, and then there's that 2, and that's the value. It's also the age and what deck it's from. Again, they got the blue behind you just to let you know. But that's all you really care about is the left side of the card. You really don't have to look at the rest of the card. Especially this part here. There's no reason to ever look at that. Like, nobody even cares about those in the game at all, right? I'm just kidding. There's people who literally upgrade this game and use all real comics. Found every single one. There's like a spreadsheet online where people will collect all these comics, or maybe just print them or something, and they put them in like comic bags and play with like fully upgraded comics. I've heard that's a thing.
Wow.
Or another cool thing, they sleeve these cards in penny sleeves because they're looser and they remind people of the plastic that comic books are in, at the comic shop. And then they feel like you're holding like little comics. But I unfortunately will never have penny sleeves enter my home ever because they are trash. And I will never put those on a game ever. I'm not 8 and don't collect Pokemon cards, so there's no need for penny sleeves here. All right, that's right. Shots fired. You who sleeve all your board games in penny sleeves, like why?
Who's covering your eyes or raising your hand right now?
Yeah, don't. Stop. It's probably less wear and tear on to put nothing on your board games than that crap plastic that does nothing. Just makes it like shuffling cards in penny sleeves. It's like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. Yeah, don't even get me started. It's like, yeah. Anyways, so on the card, that's all you care about is the stuff on the left. I mean, down here, it does have the title of the comic, the version, the number, the year, which is cool. But in this game, unless they come up with an expansion or something, none of that stuff matters. Literally, you only care about this. We're just set collecting. We're trying to build comic collections based on a hero. We're going to get bonus points depending on in the game which 3 highlights are relevant. And those highlights will be of higher value based on the value of the comic. And if you're paying for your comics, you'll be discarding basically or selling or trading comics of the values you need to pay for those. So if I was buying, for example, in the game, 3 1-cost comics, I could pay for that with like 2 2-cost ones and like lose the difference, or a 3 and a 1, or 2 other 1s or whatever, or that kind of thing, or 3 1s, whatever the value is, you can pay for it with other comics. So keep that in mind. Anyone who's played Marvel Champions, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of how that game works, where you toss cards in your hand to pay for other cards, and you can't play everything on your turn. So this is the same. So you're going to gather comics at the flea market, at the store, at the auction, and at the convention. But all those comics you're kind of gathering, before you actually add them to your collection, you'll have to get rid of some that you've gathered to pay for the ones you're actually keeping. So it is a little weird. It's like, but you just think of it as like you might buy or find comics at a convention, maybe doubles or something, and you use that because you know some guy has this comic you want, and you're going to trade him the one he needs, but you already have or you don't need. And then you also have stash points that are used in the auction for bidding that symbolize this stash you have at home that you're willing to part with to get other comics that you'd prefer in your collection. So yeah. But that's all we care about on the front of the cards. Definitely not this cool big rectangle here. Like, the only part that you care about is this. I'm just kidding. Everyone only buys this game because it has like official comic covers on it. That's literally why people care. But it's still fun. All right. The other thing I'm going to do for setup is shuffle these, and I'm going to take 10 cards off each deck to build our convention deck. Because like I said, at the game store, or not the game store. Well, I guess it could be a game store that has comics or a comic store that has games. But at the comic store, we definitely only get cards from this deck. They just have newer stuff. But when you go to a convention, I think that's 10. When you go to a convention, you'll find comics from all generations. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now you want to shuffle that?
Yep.
All right. So now you know the decks. You know the cards. That's the main component of the game. Now, what I really should have started with, but I was kind of thinking setup. But let's go to how the heck do you win the game? Let's start from there and go backwards because you need to fully understand this to be able to work your way back and understand why you're bidding on things, why you're drafting things, how collections work, all that stuff. So this also works in setup because we're going to set up the game with the random setup. But I need Vanna over here to point at things. So the main primary, I think, source of points, the main part of the game is you're building collections. Now, you can start a collection with 2 comics, but for scoring at the end of the game, a collection of 2 comics isn't really a collection. It doesn't count for anything. So you need at least 3 comics, which you can remind yourself over one more. That's actually different. Above the stars there by the coffee cup. See the 3 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 11.
Oh, you're looking at these. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were looking at that.
No, because that's different.
Yeah.
So in the left column, you'll see we're going to find out which heroes are worth more, just like in a good point salad kind of collection point competitive game. Certain sets or certain, basically certain sets will be worth more if you can collect them. But again, we're playing competitively, so now you got to decide, do you go after the higher expensive stuff that everyone's fighting over, or you go for the lower cost stuff because you get more of it over and else. Which reminds me of, what did we play recently that does this? Like Gnome Hollow or something, I think, did that. Maybe?
Did it?
No, maybe not.
I don't know.
I can't remember. There was something else that did this. Where something was, and now I'm brain farting. Anyways, lots of games do this, right? So what Mel's going to do is take those heroes on those little garbage tokens. Cheapest cardboard I've ever seen in a hobby game. But throw that, we have a bag over there that's not included in the game. I just throw them in there and then just pull out whatever the first one is you pull out, put it in the top. That is going to be our most expensive one. You can tell, or not most expensive, but worth the most sought after. And it's Captain America today in our game. So if you have 3 to 4 Captain America comics in a collection at the end of the game, it'll be worth 6 points. If you have 5 to 7, it's worth 12. If you have 8 to 11, it's worth 24. All across the top there, you see it. Up to 12 plus, it would be worth 48. If you go down the line, Mel's going to pull the next 2 and put them on the second line. And we're going to find out that Hulk comics that are Hulk comics in your Hulk collection. And again, if 2 different heroes are in the collection, you choose which collection it goes in. But it only counts for 1, unfortunately. So Doctor Strange and Hulk are there. And so comparatively, if you had 3 to 4 Doctor Strange comics in the collection, it's only worth 5 versus Captain America that's worth 6. And then the last 3 tokens, you just pull them out, put them on the bottom row. Iron Man, Spider-Man, and who do we have left? Thor. Yep. So along the bottom, if you had 3 to 4 in a collection, but again, the most important thing is you can start a collection with 2, but it ain't worth crap unless you get it to 3 or more. And there's your points. You can see that the whole game. You can look at it. You can reevaluate your collections 3 times per the game, and of course 1 last time before you go. And you can carry over a couple cards from round to round. You'll see. The next thing you can earn points from, on the left of that, the first thing Mel pointed at is the varied collections or whatever. What's it say? Is that what it says? Varied
collections.
Varied collections. So you could have a single collection at the end of the game, let's say, and it could be Captain America, and you could have 13 comics in your Captain America collection. I don't know if that's possible, but you could. And maybe that's the only collection you have. Maybe you got a Spider-Man collection, but you only had 2 in it, so it's not worth anything, because that doesn't count as a collection in scoring. So technically you only have 1 collection. You then look at the varied collections, you would have 1 collection, you wouldn't get any bonus for that. Varied collections is a way to get bonuses starting at 3. So if you have 3 different collections, let's say like a 4 collection of Captain America, Doctor Strange collection of 3, and an Iron Man collection of 7 comics, that's 3 different collections. You'll get the points for those based on that first little pad we were looking at. And then you'll get bonuses based on how many varied collections, how many different collections you have basically. So if somehow you got like 8 different collections, you'd get 40 bonus points. I don't know how.
Well, I
guess
think
if
they
you
only need to be collections of 2. So collections of 2 count for that.
Oh, does it for sure?
I'm like 99% sure.
It does show 2
yeah,
there.
I thought it was.
Oh,
and I think we scored it yesterday that way.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You didn't have any.
Yeah. Because I thought in scoring, in general in scoring, you might be right. Are we gonna learn?
I might not be.
Again, I've only played this game once.
But I thought it was.
Oh, hold on. Varied collections. The more collections you have for different heroes in your gaming area, the more victory points you will receive. See varied collection table on the Comic Hunter board. Remember, only collections with 3 or more cards count.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they put
like a 2. I assume.
I think what they're showing there is like you have more. I don't know. That should be a 3 probably.
Yeah.
That's just bad graphic design. Again, this game is like a little weak in a few areas, but still fun. All right. Next way you can get points. That second line with all the blue tickets down one row there. That is your secret stash. There are things you've been hoarding at home, hiding in the garage, whatever. There are things you might be willing to part with to help pay for your eBay auctions, basically. And when we're doing bidding on the eBay auction, you're allowed to spend up to, we all start at 15 there, as you see by our little player crappy tokens. We will spend, and we'll do 2 different auctions. So you only have 15 for the whole game. Once you go down to 0, you can't go lower. And if you blow all your 15 in the first auction, you'll have nothing for the next auction. So you'll get no comics at all. So you need to play this balance. But also what I'm mentioning this for now is because at the end of the game, any of those secret stash points you have left, those count as straight points.
Wait, how do you earn secret stash?
You don't earn any.
You just start
This
with
is like
15.
your start of your comic collecting. This is what you've gathered over your lifetime. There's your secret little stash you might be willing to part with to build this new collection because now you care. Now you want the best of the best. But at home, you got these ones your grandma got you for Christmas and like, you know, you got one time at a flea market, whatever, and they're not really what you want in your collection, but they're like your own little secret stash you're willing to part with. But maybe you're going to keep some and they count towards your collection at the end. It's your choice, but it's like, it's basically just another thing you can wheel and deal, some more resources you have, but it only counts on the eBay auction phase of the game. The next way you can get points, so that's 3 parts from points. I think it's 4 total. Yeah, it's 4 total sources of points. You understand the first 3?
Yeah.
The fourth one is the highlight track. And remember I mentioned on the comics the highlights of being number 1 or being first appearance. We're going to now set up, out of 5 of them, 3 random for our game. Doesn't matter the top row, second row, third row. It doesn't matter which one is where. Just pull one out, slap it down. And we each have a marker there, our yellow, orange, and green markers to track where we are on this. And again, how that moves up is when you're adding comics to your collection at the 3 different points in the game, at the end of each round, basically, before you add the comics to your collection, after you pay for them, you then get any bonuses based on these highlights. So the first highlight we have there is first appearances. The second one is new looks. And the third one is special editions. So any number 1s or any verses don't matter for our game. They don't get any bonus points. So if you're deciding between 2 different comics, you might want to add one that's like a first appearance or a new look. And you just need to know those 3 symbols that were just added to the board there. But every time you add comics 3 times in the game, when we're adding to our collection, before you actually move into your collection, but after you pay for them, you then look at all the comics you have, and they'll go up based on the value of the comic. So if I have a first edition, or not a first edition, a first appearance of a hero on let's say this one. Oh, right there, perfect. So if I have this star, which matches that star in the first column, when I'm adding this to my collection, I would have to pay 3 for it. But I also would get 3 points on that track.
Right away?
Yes, it just moves on that track.
All right.
Okay, but those numbers along the track, I didn't realize when I was explaining this yesterday, I wasn't fully clear with my play group that I played with. These random people I was playing with.
Well, we both thought the same thing, me and Chelsea.
I obviously didn't explain it clearly, or you weren't.
I read the book,
or you weren't listening to me as usual, which is totally fine. When you're married, it's the frequency thing. It doesn't, it doesn't listen. You don't hear those. Like you hear that frequency so much in your life, things in your ear just stop picking up that frequency anymore. So it's just like, whew. Yeah. Anyways, married people know. Okay. Anyways, also. My child and father kind of, that also works the same way.
Yeah, because she thought the same thing.
Yeah. So anyways, let's explain this here. So you understand how your little tokens move up that track. Well, all three of us, picture it as like a racetrack. On the other side of those tokens actually is a 20. So if you go over 20, we'll loop back around and you can keep getting more, I shouldn't say points. They're not points for the end of the game. It's just your position on the highlight track. Picture those as three little racetracks and we're competing on each racetrack. Okay? At the end of the game, we check those racetracks and your position on the track will earn you a certain amount of points as shown beside the highlights thing. It's kind of annoying they put the points there for a 4-player game because it's different for a 3, it's different for a 2, it's different for 1. So for our game, if you're first place on one of the tracks, you will get 15 points. So if you're first place on all 3 tracks, you'll get 45 points at the end of the game, for example. If you're second place on the track, you'll get 12 points. In a 3-player game, if you're third, you'll get 3 points. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just that's the way it is. And if there's ties, the 2 people are tied, take the value of the points to the one they're tied for and the one below it, add it together, divide it up, whatever, something like that. We'll look it up if we need. I don't remember what it was exactly, but you just divvy up some points. And it only matters at the end of the game. But of course, as you're adding cards to your collection, and if you have some choice, or as you're grabbing cards at auctions or adding cards to your collections, you might want to grab a Doctor Strange comic that is a special edition rather than a number 1 if you have a choice, you know? Or you use one to pay for the other and try to keep the one that could give you a highlight bonus. So those are the 4 sources of points. It is the amount of cards in your collections based on hero and their value. Then if you have 3 or more different collections, again, a collection and the scoring only counts when you have 3 or more comics in it, you can get varied points bonus. Then anything you have left in your stash, which could be nothing, and that's totally fine because you could use that stash to get you some crazy comics to then get you amazing highlights along those highlight tracks, or some comics like for some high value comics to bump yourself from, let's say, a 7 comic collection to an 8. And instead for Captain America, if you have a 7 comic collection for Captain America, it'd only be 12 points. But if you went to 8 and just had one more Captain America comic, doesn't matter if it's from the 1 deck or the 3 deck, that 8 would be a difference of 24 points versus 12. Double points. So look at those thresholds, and maybe don't save your stash points if you're able to get that 1 extra comic, you know, or, you know, in a draft or whatever you'll see. You might want those extra ones. You might want to take some cheap ones because, again, you can't keep everything. You'll need to pay for some, and sometimes it's okay to pay for ones with expensive comics that might have amazing highlights on them. But if they don't really help out what your strategy is, or if you're trying to make a couple big collections, or you're trying to make a bunch of small collections, or somewhere in the middle, it's a fun little balance of however you want to play it, and just trying to get points here and there. Yeah. So the 3 locations are marked there. There's a little reference on the iPad that's on that board to remind you of the 4 different locations. There's A, which is the store, B is the flea market, C is the auction site. It kind of reminds you what deck you need to use for each one. If you can point at it, there's like the 1, the 2, and the 3, and then all 3 mixed together for the convention. And it kind of shows a little picture to kind of remind you which drafting mode. This is a drafting game. We're set collecting, we're drafting, and then we're scoring a bunch of points. That's it. But the cool part is we're not just drafting one way. There's 4 different kinds of drafts. What they did, each location is a different kind of draft. And we'll visit each location twice in the game, but in each round, it's in a different order or a different 3 locations. So if Mel can point at the schedule there, it has a crappy little checkmark token that's way too big for the board. Yeah, again, quality on this is like, wow. Corners were cut. But yeah, so the first one is store, and then flea market, then convention, and then you assemble / work on your collections and get your highlight points and all that stuff. Then you'll go to another store, then an auction site, then a convention. Then again, we pay for comics, add them to update our collections. You can move comics between a collection. If you want to change your mind based on ones that have more than 1 hero on them, you might be like, oh crap, I don't want to work on this one anymore. The only thing is you can't transfer from one collection to another if it leaves less than 2 in a collection. You can't go below 2 in a collection once you've started one. So you can't switch them that way.
And you're starting a collection when you're gaining that card?
Well, you have to have at least 2 of a hero to even start a collection and pay for them and add them to your collection.
You're gaining cards for these while we go to the store.
No, but is that when you're creating a collection? Was when you gain the card and you're assigning it to? Okay.
No, when we get to this red where we're assembling collections, you're gonna gain cards.
So basically, we're just like hoarding.
Yeah.
And it's all building a hand. That's the way to describe it. You're building a hand of cards, and your collection's in front of you face up. You're building like little collections, but you have none in the first round. At the end of the first round, we have to do our first assemble / collection.
I see.
You're then paying for and discarding whatever. Anything you use to pay for cards and discard goes back to the convention deck. So then you could get them later in a convention, which is neat.
Cool.
So yeah, let's and we'll go through it. We'll do a full playthrough. We'll show you how each little drafting thing works. I could teach you right now all 4 of them, but like we're gonna do each one twice in the game.
And they're very simple.
Yeah, very simple, very straightforward.
How to what you're looking for.
We don't need to rush it. We can take our time. Again, Kyle's never played, so we can sit there and he can stare at the the comics, try to min-max everything. That's the the convention one?
Yeah.
Okay. Convention.
Convention's the last though, right?
Yeah. In this one.
Yeah, it's the third one we've visited.
Last in that one. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we're doing is visiting the store.
We go to the convention 3 times.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're always at the end of the round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's
cool.
the other ones that flipped only twice.
Oh, so okay. So I was incorrect.
No, I didn't know until.
So do you go to the store twice?
Twice, yeah.
Do you go to the auction site twice?
Yes.
Do you go to the flea market twice?
Yes.
But the convention you go to 3 times?
Yes.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. This was the last one, which is kind of cool because some of those comics you could have pitched before to pay for other things, and then you now get to visit it in one last time to kind of maybe grab some that you wanted.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was...
But again, you won't see everything because the deck gets kind of big at the convention. Oh, the other thing is, if you want to just hold up one of those tokens, our player tokens, just to show how thin and crappy they are. And they're really, like, you can't even grab them. They're so thin. It's, like, hard to pick them up, and especially on the highlights track where you need to pass other people.
Yeah. On this
very fiddly. So what I've done beside you there, I just put some, like, meeples or those, like, Explore It little beads. I don't know what's what. I just grabbed them, like, before stream. But if you'd rather use those, because they're easier to grab.
Yeah, we're going to use meeples.
Yeah. So if you want to just replace all that crappy cardboard, and again, I was going to use, like, I know I have tons of cubes. I just couldn't find, I had a bag of, like, different cubes from all the different games we played where we don't use those cubes anymore. And I just couldn't find them. But I would definitely use cubes or meeples, or I'm sure you have bingo markers, something that's, like, easier to grab, because those are, like, plastic and have, like, they're kind of thin on the edge, so you can actually grab them. But
yeah, I always had to, like, pull them off the board.
Our cards are all bending, by the way. That's the other thing. The cards look nice. All my cards when I opened the game the other day were all warped, and each deck was bending in a different way. So I started bending the decks to try to straighten them out. Then I came back later, and they were all bent again. And then in the you can even see already, even sleeved. See the way some of them are curved a different way? I literally put, and anyone who knows Chip Theory games, I grabbed a couple of Chip Theory game boxes, super heavy. I put all the decks and held them up and left it on it overnight.
I didn't know what you were doing there.
I was trying to flatten the cards out. I did it without sleeves, and the next day I put them in sleeves, and they seemed okay. But then I noticed I came back, and the sleeves were like so all these ones are bent the same way because they're all from the same deck. But once you start mixing in a convention deck, you'll see they're like start standing up, and like even the sleeves couldn't keep them straight. So yeah, they have like no finish on them. They're like those cheap cards. We see them in other games where like you can tell they didn't pay for a good like finish on them.
Yeah.
So it's just like literally paper with no plastic to kind of keep them straight. So yeah, this game is like, yeah, they definitely were like, let's just import it and pay for the license. But you find this, man, with video games back in the day, we did the same thing. They get the like Marvel license and then they cheap out on everything else. So they cheap out on the components, the quality control, like, the translations in the rulebook, all that stuff is like, you could tell they just cheaped out on everything. The most simplest game, you think you could catch everything, like, and it only has like the minimal components. You think you could like invest a little bit in that to just make like those tokens just like premium, like, I don't know. It's weird. But then you see something like Marvel Splendor or Marvel Flux and stuff, and they're all like better components, like on the bonus little things that like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like
first player tokens.
Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah. It's very sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, cash grab. Screams cash grab. But yeah. See, all the cards are bending, which sucks. So you definitely have to put them in sleeves, but even the sleeves, like these are Dragon Shield sleeves or whatever, and they're not even straightening them out. Like they're like hardcore sleeves. So if you put them in penny sleeves, that's gonna be even worse. So I don't know. But I'm sure people have ways to flatten out cards. Oh, David says, I got upgrades off Etsy to make this for for this to make the components usable. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I know I may be sounding elitist and stuff, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm okay if a game's like cheap and mass market, but like I've seen like garbage components and then like okay mass market components, you know? Like I understand they're not going to use the thickest cardboard ever, but yeah, this is like, and it's not like this game's loaded with tokens. It's like one sheet, like not even.
Now,
like a card of tokens.
Here's an honest question, though. Do you think that maybe they cheaped out on the components because they had to pay for the licensing of the
That's
comics?
what I think. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. But then bump the game up a couple bucks. But then again, to get it in big box stores, they have like a max that has to be under this and this box size and all this, fit on the shelf, has to be this, you know, they have requirements. Okay. So we're going to visit our store. We need to find a first player. Now, the first player, oh, I forgot. Anyways, the first player is whoever last read a Marvel comic or watched a Marvel movie.
Okay.
Kyle, what was the last Marvel movie you watched? Assuming you haven't read any Marvel comics lately. Oh,
he's thinking. I might actually be.
He's like the only Marvel fan at the table, by the way.
I guess like
I'm just joking.
Agatha, I watched that.
What's that?
Agatha all along.
Is that the witch from the?
Oh, that's the witch from the Red Girl.
Scarlet Witch show? That show was awesome.
That was good. I don't remember what that was called.
When did you last watch that? Was that?
Oh, I don't know. Whenever it ended, so like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks? Oh, okay, that's fine.
Wait, when
Maybe
did we?
4 weeks ago.
The last thing we watched was the Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah, but I don't remember when that was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, I watched that as well.
Okay, anyways.
Whatever.
Kyle gets to go
Don't make
first.
me first player.
No, you're first.
No.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in this one.
It doesn't matter for this one.
Okay, Kyle's first player. He gets the cool first player token, which is Marvel copyright. Now, whose glasses are these, Kyle? I say they're Stan Lee's, but my daughter thinks
Just
they're
that
Iron
they're
Man's.
Iron Man's.
Yeah, they're not Stanley's.
No, okay.
Are they Iron Man's?
I would say
Tony Stark's glasses?
they're more closely Tony Stark's.
Yeah, because that was what she was
Are
arguing.
they Cyclops' glasses? Maybe they're Cyclops' glasses. Does anyone know whose glasses these are on the first player token? It doesn't say in the rule book. I was quite disappointed.
It's like they tried to make them Stanley's, but
Well, they're official Marvel, so they can't be like knockoff. These are real glasses. Like they're from a Marvel comic. They didn't make these up with like AI art or anything. Anyone in the chat know? Anyone watching live or in the comments later? I need to hear whose glasses these are. And maybe if you're leaving in the comments, you weren't here live. You can't put right answers in the comments. But in the chat, we can get the right answer here. But anyways, all right. So Kyle's first player, and the first player will change after the visit. You get to choose who's first player after this, and it keeps changing. But at the end of the story, you actually keep it. I think. Yeah, you keep first player at the end of the story, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then after that,
And
you
after the
give it
flea
away.
market, yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do here, this is super complex drafting here at the comics store, okay? As you're browsing around through those white boxes of comics, I'm going to give 4 cards to each of us, okay? Are you ready? This is going to blow your mind. We're going to look at these 4 cards. You're going to keep one and pass them, I think it's to the left. I don't think it matters as long as we do different
I think this one was clockwise.
each
but I don't
time.
remember.
First visit is to the left. On the second visit to the store later, it's to the right. So pass your cards to the player on your left. Once you've chosen one, put it face down.
wait, didn't you take out some of these cards based off of them not being in the game?
Only if they were.
Only if they're the
singles.
only hero on it.
If there's another
Oh,
hero
so-
on it, then it's.
So if it's like
useful.
Black Panther and Black Widow in the comic, that would stay. But if it's just a Black Panther comic or just a Black Widow comic, it's out of our game for this one. All right. What is good? Captain America's the hot property. Doctor Strange and Hulk are pretty good. But maybe no one's going to be fighting over like Spider-Man. So maybe that's a good one to build big collections on. And remember the first and the new looks and all that. All right. So I'm passing these 3 to my left. You pass those to your left. You keep one. And you keep doing that until we only have 4 left. And you have 4 in your collection.
I see Matthew's in the chat, and something that I remember, Matthew.
I don't see Matthew in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Do you remember how we used to play on Tuesdays, and it felt like maybe it was Tuesday, and Matthew would come in and be like, "Hey guys, going to the comic book store."
Oh,
right?
yes.
It just made me think of that.
Now I remember how Matthew got his 2,000 comics.
Yeah, I remember he'd be like, "Okay, have fun. I'm going to pick up my comics.
It's whatever new release is. New release Tuesday, right?
Yeah, or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
whatever new release day is. Because what people do with comics, you let your comic book store know which lines you're collecting, and they'll like pull them for you and set them aside. Then you go pick them up.
Yeah.
I bet that's what Matthew was doing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, I remember those days.
It's been a while.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday. Okay, sorry.
All right. So now these 4 comics, they're in your hand. They're not in a collection yet. They're just what you grabbed at the store. Okay.
Yeah.
You might trade them, sell them later to pay for ones.
And this is hidden information.
Hidden information.
Yeah, don't tell me.
You can play with it open when we
you
put.
saw them at some point,
Yeah.
Well,
except for one.
So when we start putting our collections in front of us, we can have them open knowledge, whatever. You can see what I'm collecting and try to troll me or not troll me, whatever.
so we're done at the store.
We're done with the store. Now we move on to
Flea market.
flea market. Okay, the flea market's where you'll find stuff from the modern age, 80s and 90s. In the flea market, how this is going to work, Kyle's first player. I'm going to lay down a column of the amount of rows based on how many players are currently in the game. So these all create a row. This is the first column. Now, starting with the first player and going clockwise, you're going to have the possibility of 2 actions. The first action you could choose is I draw a card off this deck and we add it to a row. Okay?
Yeah.
Rows have a maximum of 4 comics in them. That's how far they can go. The other action you can do on your turn is you can just grab a row and you're out of the game. You've left the flea market. And now you can't create a new row. It would just be 2 rows left. And then out of us, whoever's left can still keep choosing, add a card or take a row. And once you take a row, you're out. So it's kind of like a push your luck, but you might add cards and someone else yoinks it before it comes back around to you. You might play the game of cards off here. You might add it to a row to make it look more juicy for someone else. Or trick people or put a variety out and like just hope someone nabs it or whatever. So with you being first player, I'm going to draw the first card.
No, you have to ask him if he wants to draw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, draw.
Do you want to take a row?
No, draw a card.
Okay.
Wait, I can take the full. Oh, let's call
A row. Yeah, you just take one comic. Okay, so let's say the first one you say, I'm gonna add a comic. So this is Hulk one. You decide which row you want to add it to.
It's on my turn for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mel, what do you want to do?
I'll add a card.
Okay, we have a Captain America here. Where do you want it to go?
Top row.
Top row? Oh, man. My turn. I could just yoink this whole thing and I'm out. Huh. That's tempting. But if I don't yoink it now, Kyle might yoink it. But maybe I don't want anything in there. Maybe I do. I don't know.
maybe you want to add whatever the next card is to that row.
I
So
know.
then you can yoink it.
Yeah, then definitely someone will yoink it. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a pickle.
It's kind of tough because you want some throwaway cards. So
Yes.
You can buy cards later.
Correct.
Correct. That's exactly
And then
right.
we're in the
Yeah.
2 value ones now. I am going to just yoink.
Oh,
Okay,
want
Kyle,
to?
what do you want to do? You want to take one in a row or you want to
no.
add a
Put
card?
it down. Put it down.
And now I'm out. It's just between Mel and Kyle now.
I'll add a card.
Add a card.
This one.
And once the last person, second to last person takes the row, the other person's stuck with what's ever left. They can't just keep adding to it or anything like that. So you could like lock Mel off kind of
No,
thing.
but if I added one, then Mel could add one.
And then you're stuck with the 2 that are left.
No, if I
No.
add one, then you still
Oh,
have a
if she
chance to-
adds one,
But
sorry.
if you add
If
one
she
and
takes
I
it, I
take
mean.
one, you're forced to take the other one.
Yeah, so
No, how many cards do you want here? You want 3 cards?
I'd like.
all right.
I want 3 cards.
Yeah.
Add one.
I picture you guys bartering at a flea market right now.
It depends though. What's the row you're looking for?
Oh, over here.
Mel,
I'll add one.
the Hulk.
Oh, that interesting.
It's a versus, which doesn't mean anything. So we'll just look at the scoreboard for a sec. So remember, we're looking for first appearances, new looks, or special editions are the highlights. But again, if you're just adding stuff to your hero collection or making multiple collections, there's lots of points on the table there, obviously. It's not just about the highlight track too, but
We'll add that.
okay. Kyle,
I'll take a row.
which one do you want? And Mel just gets that one.
Yep.
All right, that's it for a flea market draft. Okay, next we're going on the convention.
We are.
All right. Oh, no, wrong one. Convention is all together, so this is a mix of everything. Okay, this is the convention deck, so it's all random stuff from all eras. How this one works, I'm going to set up a 5x5 grid.
Oh, Kyle, first before you do this, you get to choose who is first in the next round.
Yeah, first player actually passes from you now. It stays with you after a store, but you choose who's first player here.
What affects who's going first for this?
Yes.
And this next one is a snake draft.
So it's like first player gets to pick some comics, then the next, then the next, then that player picks again, then reverse. So whoever you're picking first goes very first choice and very last choice.
He's trying to snake it in his head. I can be honest.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm going to set up this 5x5 grid. Okay. I'll explain how it works.
I can see the curl now that you say that.
Oh yeah,
I
there's
didn't
like
notice
tons.
it last night.
It gets worse over days. Like after I flattened them, it was good for like a few hours. Then I came back and was like, whoa, half of them are like standing up, like pointing up on the corner.
Yeah.
Am I doing this?
No,
right?
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. There.
Thanks.
Okay.
Go first.
So how this one works is you're going to look at a column or a row, and only one, a column or a row, and you name a hero, and you get all the comics with that hero's symbol on it, and just yoink them out of this grid. This grid, picture it has a wall around it. This is how big this grid gets. Now it has a little space in the middle because there's a twist. Before you take your comic, it's optional. You can move one comic. The rules to movement are, and in this first situation, you could move this one, or this one, or this one. And you just move them here. Done. Okay, then you can name like Doctor Strange and then yoink, yoink Doctor Strange's, for example. Okay? But later, as we start ripping some out, it doesn't fill in or anything. So let's say I rip those Doctor Stranges out. Now you could take like this Thor and like move it here and there and like connect whatever and then just name a row or a column and you get to yoink all the heroes that match. Now again, the tricky part here, which I find really cool, is the convention has stuff from all three decks, all eras, all costs. Okay? So you have 1, 2s, and 3s. So you might be looking at, oh, I want to get all of the same hero in a row, but it might all be like number 1s. And remember, sometimes you want some 3s to help pay for things, or maybe you want a nice 3 because it's like a first appearance, which that would get you 3 on that track if you're to add this Thor to your collection. But maybe you don't. Maybe you just want it because it's a 3 and you pay for it. Maybe you want it because there's a whole bunch of Thors in the same row, for example, or a column and you just want a bunch of comics. Like, it's totally however you want to go at it, but it could be the way you find what you need to pay for stuff, to add to your collection, to start a new collection. And when we assemble, one thing I didn't mention is when you're adding comics to your collection 3 times in the game at the end of each round, you have to pay and discard stuff from your hand to pay for things to add to your collection. But you are allowed to keep 2 cards in your hand going forward to the next round. So one of these cards here, you might not be able to pay to add to your collection. You can grab it, and then don't worry, hold it until maybe in a later round, you're able to pay for it to add it to your collection. So there's like long-term planning, short-term planning in this game, however you want to approach it. So Mel is first player. She can do the optional movement of a comic. Then she's going to name a column or row and name a hero from that column or row and take all the cards in that row or column of that hero. And then it will pass to me. And I will do the same thing. Except for my movement will be a little more open. And maybe you don't have to want to move. Maybe you just want to leave it the way it is. It's totally optional.
Okay. I'm going to not move anything.
The curve decreases the value. Agreed, Brett. Agreed. Oh, this is a fun little game. I'm ripping on the component quality because it's sad that it's such a fun game that I want to show people and it's like cool and clever and everything. But it's just like an embarrassment how like some of the things slip through. But again, you can upgrade components. We all know that. Any of us hardcore board gamers, we've all upgraded components, sleeved cards, all that kind of stuff. So you can definitely correct things, but it's definitely a cool little game.
I'm not going to move anything, but I am going to choose here to say Doctor Strange.
Those all Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Double check.
They were.
Make sure she's not just yoinking stuff.
No, I'm not just
She's
joining.
not shoplifting at the convention. Make sure. Security.
Okay, then to Rob.
Okay, so now this good situation. So I literally could move like this Thor, for example. I can't leave the boundaries, and I wanted this example. I can't. I guess this is not the best example. Another example would be like, let's say this one's missing from here. I can't just like move and jump. You just can only stay within the space it can get to. For
That are
example,
empty.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to grab.
That was smart that you picked me because then you put yourself last.
I will just.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if it matters. I'm going to move this one to here, to here, and then I'm going to say Captain America here. This is the deck. This is my cards. Convention deck.
All right.
Oh yeah, those little tokens. Oh, you're supposed to use meeples through here. I brought these discs out so we could actually use them to put on our cards when we have to keep them separate when you're drafting and things to remember like what your hand is, so you don't mix it.
You guys decide who's what color.
I'm yellow, of course.
Oh yeah.
That's
Sorry,
the way-
I'm using what? I'm using the meeples. I see.
Yeah, yeah. Meeples on everything. I have
Meeples
4 of
on
each
everything.
meeple,
I saw.
and then these tokens I could just put them on here so I don't get confused when I'm holding the convention deck beside my hand and whatever. And you know, if we're ever drafting, you can just kind of cover your hand with that to remember what it is.
I'm going twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this optional move you can do once on each turn. You could do something to move something now to line it up for your second grab, like get something out of the way. Yeah.
There's not much going on here.
Yeah, yeah. It might not matter at all.
Then maybe you just want to.
Or you control somebody, like, you know, like, oh, obviously this round you don't know really what we're collecting, but once you see people start building their collections, you can be like, oh, I can mess with you and like I get the Spider-Man out of this row and put it somewhere else to like, you know, just troll, whatever. But
oh, sure. Let's go like, yeah, we'll say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man in the first column. You take all the Spider-Mans.
That's a good pick.
Okay, and now it's back to you.
And then I'll just go like that and say Hulk.
Yep.
Yep.
So I get this Hulk, that Hulk.
And then Rob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Until I left that open.
I'm gonna build the biggest single collection you've ever seen if I can ever pay for it. It'll take me 3 rounds to pay for it, and I probably can't hold it all.
Gotta get that. Was it 12 plus?
It's me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You go here, 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 here. And I'll say Thor.
Whoa. And the rest of the cards just go back to the convention deck. So you could see some of these in the future. And I'll just shuffle that up.
All
Okay,
right.
now we've hit the end of the first round, technically. So we start with our assembling collection. And this is usually where everyone gets a little quiet and they start crunching their numbers. And basically what you can do, so for example, I'll kind of show you. I would start laying out, this is how I do it. I just kind of lay out stuff and just in front of you, just lay it out. Okay, this is just funny.
Oh, I
Every
see what you did.
shield
Oh my
possible.
God.
So let's just say for fun, I'm
But
being a
please,
troll.
you can't pay for all those.
I know this is not the best strategy. I'm just goofing around. I don't want to win this game like I did yesterday. I played a little too hard, so I'm trying out something different. But I grabbed all these Captain Americas. This is an example to show you. Even though you grab all these cards, the other cards that are not Captain America only have a value of, I have a 2, 2, and a 1. That's 5. This 5 is not going to pay for my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cost of comics I would love to add to my collection, make the biggest Captain America collection ever, is not going to happen. But remember, I can keep 2 cards going forward the next round, but I have to discard any left over. So I might as well try to make some work and use them to pay for stuff. So I also have 2 Thor cards, so I could start a little Thor collection. But I don't think so. I also could I could do a little Captain America or Iron Man thing over here and then like move one over after if I want, but it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'll just start looking. And what I do here is maybe, again, I'm not a pro player, I only play this once, but I can start looking at these highlights. And I got versus, number ones. Those aren't worth anything in this game. But these first appearances are. So if I want to go up on some of these highlight tracks, and maybe I'll go for ones maybe that you guys aren't, I hope, or whatever. We'll see how it goes. But so these ones I probably would want to keep because they have some highlights. That'll move me up on that track 3 points. But all these other ones don't do anything for me. So really the value doesn't matter. I kind of want the cheaper comics. So I'm just looking for numbers. I'm just trying to build a big Captain America collection. And so me paying for 3s to go to the collection that aren't going to get me a bonus for highlights, that 3 is irrelevant. But that 3 could pay for 3 singles. So that's how I might look at this. And these ones I'm discarding go back to the convention deck. So I might see them again in a future visit to a convention.
The collection's 2 minimum?
You can only start a collection by putting 2 down. You can't start a collection with 1. But remember, you can hold 2 cards going forward. So if you're like, you want to build it later. I might actually do that Thor thing, actually. Maybe not. I don't know. So when I sit here and kind of like figure out what I need to do, what I need to pay for. This is Captain America collection. 9, 11, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another thing, like you can be trolly too, is like I might prioritize adding this to my collection because it has Captain America and Hulk on it, because I could move this to a Hulk collection I'm making later, but I also might want to keep it in my collection so that somebody else can't grab it later to build up a Hulk collection, you know? There might be ways where you like kind of hate draft kind of idea. So like I might keep this card because like I don't want to add a Thor and an Iron Man back to the pool that you guys can use to make bigger collections. Maybe I keep them and add them in, you know? So that's why I kind of like maybe keep this Iron Man. I don't know. So what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4.
What happens with the cards that you don't actually use?
The ones that you don't. What do
You can
the
hold
ones that
2
you
going
pay?
forward.
You can hold 2.
Yeah, the ones that you.
The other
pay
ones
with
you discard
go-
to pay. They all go back to the convention deck.
Convention.
And the ones you don't use to pay for anything, they also go back to the convention deck. But the deck gets really big and you might not see them again. Seven, 8, 9, 10. So 7.
Oh yeah, and you can only put, oh, that's,
8, 9, 10.
wait, does that work?
Yeah. And we'll hold 2 going forward. Keep 2 in my hand. And I think this is a 10 here. 5, 10. So I will discard. So a 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 for 10. These will go back to the convention deck. And that's what I'm using to pay for these. To add to my collection. This is my hand here. So I'll keep that as my hand. And this collection I'll just leave in front of me, sitting there. Everyone can see. This is what I've done. You can keep it secret if you want. I think as in the rulebook it says, like you can do whatever. You keep open info or whatever. So this is like a little collection I'm going to keep. Just sitting here. And this will also help you when you're drafting in the future. So they're face up, you know it's your cards. I keep my stuff that I'm drafting in my hand face down, but I like using a little token to remind me that this is my hand versus the stuff I'm drafting. And now when I'm paying for these, before I add them to my collection, I like to keep a little area where I'm deciding what to add. Then I pay for it. Then I score my highlights. So in here, the only highlights I'm scoring, this is weak sauce. I don't know why you guys let me get these so easily, because they have highlights that are useless. And I thought this is kind of funny. I'll grab them anyway and see what happens. So I'm only going up 3 on the new look track.
Okay.
So Mel's moved
sorry,
me
I
up
didn't
there,
realize you couldn't see that.
a little yellow meeple to 3. And now these will get added to my collection. There's my collection. And this is my 2 cards. Up to 2 cards you're allowed to carry forward. You don't have to carry forward any if you want to use them to pay for stuff. But I cannot right now. But I'm going to hold them and maybe I can add them to collection or use them to pay for stuff in the future. So Kyle, What are you doing here?
This is what I'm keeping. This one I'm using to pay for them.
So show us here. So what's the cost you got here? Is this 5,
11.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So just give me 11 or more, and you can't get change back.
It's
So
11.
it's 11. So you can also just look at the
Check
back of the
your
cards. Yeah, we got to check, make sure you're not messing around. 8, 9, 10, 11. So these will just get put back into the convention deck and shuffled in. And then now we score your highlights.
5.
So first editions, our first appearances will go up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that track.
Oh, that counts. Oh, you're doing the
Yeah,
value.
the-
Oh.
Yes, yes, yes.
So is this 3 twice then? Because
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't really look at these, and I should. So that's kind of fun that you guys are ripping up on that already.
And then you get 2 for
2 up on that track, and then the
3?
diamond is going up 3.
Okay. Wow, you're on every track.
Special edition.
All right.
But again, he could end up 3rd place in all those and only get like 3 points for all that. And then, yeah, you maybe hurt your collection numbers. So it's just a fun balance of like, where do you want to go for your points, right? And you kind of look at what everyone else is doing, maybe zig, maybe zag, kind of like go at them, compete with them, or just, you know, zigzag around them, go to the open waters kind of thing.
Yep, I should
All
have
right.
collected very.
Brett, thank you for the super chat for a 3rd edition. Thank you for the $5. Much
Thank you,
appreciated. 3rd edition.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alrighty, and then my points.
You're carrying some
I'm
cards
carrying
over?
1 over. And then my points for my first editions 3, 4. And I don't have any of the whatever that one is. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That one.
I think it's first appearance, right? So the symbol is.
No, this what's
That's new look.
new look.
Oh, no.
So in this case, it's like Spider-Man's got a new look. So it's like the first time.
Okay.
First time maybe he wore the black suit,
I see.
I see.
or like what's the other one? Like you know, like Captain America changes to a new character, or the
Right.
Flash,
Yeah.
you know, becomes a new Flash, or Spider-Man is not Peter Parker, he's Peter Porker, and then that's the new look for Spider-Man. I don't know, stuff like that.
Okay. Alrighty, we're going back to the store. But I have to. I think I was supposed to pass this right after the convention.
Yeah, you choose. Oh,
That's
thanks.
you.
Cool shades. All right, convention deck shuffled shirt. Whole bunch of shuffle. All right. So where are we going? What?
Store.
Store again?
Yep.
All right.
Last time at the store.
So we're going to the same deck, but again, this is all new cards because the other stuff left over either went to our collections or is in the convention deck. So there's 4 for you, 4 for you, and 4 for me.
And then somewhere passing to the right.
Yes. So take 1 card, pass to the right.
Right.
What the hell is
The
this?
other way.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So this goes to your hand. Boom.
We're going to the auction for the first time.
Okay, this is the first time we're at the auction, so we're going to show you how the auction works. Okay, this is the juicy cards. Everything's a 3. They're all 3s, all from the golden age, 60s
Oh, I have
and
to pay
70s.
for this, right? Yay.
What's that?
I have to pay for these?
Oh, you'll be paying with
From
fake-
our stash.
fake
Oh,
comics.
this is
Like,
the
it's like
first-
invisible comics.
Oh, okay.
So remember all this stuff I explained. You can bid up to your 15 points. We're bidding now.
Not using these.
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No.
This is the stash that you had before you started collecting.
Alright.
You know,
Saving.
stuff you got as a gift
You're
when you were a
saving,
kid.
yeah.
And
Saving,
yeah,
saving.
you're saving.
Just for this.
That box that Grandpa left you in the attic. Okay. And again, all that blue bar there, anything left over at the end of the game after 2 of these visiting the auction site will just be straight points for you. So don't feel like you have to spend it all. But again, if there's some juicy stuff in here that'll help build you some big collections or have some nice movement on the highlight tracks or help you build some varied collections, have some, 3 or more collections, you might get more points doing that than just saving a few bucks in your stash,
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make the choice. And how this one's going to work, I shuffle it up. I'm going to put down a row, a lot of 5, a lot of 3. And because we're playing 3 players, it's going to be basically 4 rows or 4 lots. and the middle one's a 4. But if we had 4 players, it would be another row of 4. And then how this works, and there's the rest of them for later. How this works is we're going to flip them over, and we're going to see what's in each lot. Okay, so this is lot number 1. Okay, lot number 2. And lot number 3. And because I'm first player, I get to choose which lot we're bidding on first, and I get to make the first bid. Now, in this game, obviously, if we're just doing this at the kitchen table without a stream going, and I wasn't explaining everything, we'd quickly just be like, I'm going to pick this, I'll bid 3, and then we go clockwise. Do you want to beat my bid or pass? Do you want to beat my bid or pass? And it keeps going around until 2 players have passed, the highest bid takes it, and then that player is out. Just like that other one where we had 3 rows. Once you take your row, you're out.
Yep.
Then the next player, clockwise order, would then choose, or it goes back to first player. If I didn't get one, it would go back to first player, and then I would get to choose the next one and place the first bid. But because there is no token or money or currency or monopoly money, whatever, we're just going to use the D20 just to keep track as we talk and take our time. So just to keep track of your current bid. And remember, you have up to 15 on this track to start with that you can spend. And you don't have to spend any. But remember, this is the one where I had the rules correction at the beginning of the video. So let's say I bid and win this one. And let's say you and Mel are fighting and this one and she wins it. Once those 2 are gone, the last person automatically takes what's left. But it could be any one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And you must pay 1 for each comic you're taking, no matter what. Unless you can't afford it because you've run out of stash points. This might matter more in the second auction. Second auction. And you just pay 1. But if you don't have enough to pay for it, you can pick which ones, and you have to pay the rest of what you have.
Yeah, because if you lose the auction, you didn't lose any. Right? You're still at 15.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, only the winner has to pay.
Yeah.
And then they just move their token down on the track. So I'm going to bid on.
There's no entry fee.
No. As long as you just set up your account, they mail you something to verify your address. We just have to go through all that first, so we'll just wait a few weeks, and then once that's verified, we can play.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to bid on.
Well, you have to bid on the one you want, right? Otherwise you're screwed.
No.
Or he's trying to run up the bid on
Well, yeah, I guess.
the other ones. He
This
doesn't
is
care
correct.
He sees one Captain America card. He's like, "Yep, I need it."
I know. I'm trying to set a record here.
It has the symbol.
for.
Oh yeah, it has this too.
Yep. Oh, juicy.
I'll start the bid on this one, and I'll build a big fat 1 stash book.
Who's me?
Clockwise to you, Kyle. Do you want to bid on it? You have to beat my bid. You bid whatever, up to 15, or you pass.
I will pass.
Mel, do you want to bid on this lovely lot of comics?
Sucks. You can get it for 1.
Yes, I'll bid 2.
I will bid 3. I don't know if Kyle can bid now.
I'm pretty sure I'm out.
Is that how it works? Probably.
I don't think I could rejoin.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
If he didn't want to bid 2, he can
Well,
bid
let's find out.
5 later.
All this interest. Now I want it.
Players continue to bid or pass their turn until there is only 1 winning bid left. The player with the winning bid wins the cards in the lot for the amount they bid, then adds those cards to their hand. The bid is then deducted from the player's secret stash, move their color token on the track back based on the amount they spent. Please note, a player can never have less than 0 points in the secret stash. Each player can only win 1 lot of cards in a round.
It does say continue to bid or pass.
Yeah, I think you can.
In case you want.
You might change your mind.
You're
You pass.
I'll wait till it's higher.
This game needs to come with little paddles you can hold up. You know?
Yeah. I'll bid 4.
Whoa.
I'll go 5.
Oh, it was your turn.
Pass.
Pass.
So if you can move my token down there, 5 stash points, and these go to my collection, to my hand. So I've added them to my hand. Now I'm out. I'm no longer bidding. This is between you two. So this will go to Kyle, and feel free to bid, or pick the lot and then start bidding.
I'll pick this lot.
So the lot of 5.
And start at.
And just throw your bid up here somewhere so we can see.
Start at 2.
Oh, pushing the envelope here. 2. 2 is the bid.
I'll make sure I get it.
Do I hear a 3? Do I hear a 3? Anyone? Do I hear a 3?
3.
Mel, can you just do it over here, please?
I apologize.
Thank you. Back to Kyle. Would you pass or would you like to beat that bed?
Sure, 4.
4 million. 4 million from the man with the green shirt in the back.
5.
5. Oh man, this is tense.
6.
6. Okay. I mean, we have a lovely Hulk special edition. Do I hear 7?
7.
Do I hear 7? Oh, I hear a
No.
7. Do I hear an 8?
8, yeah.
I hear an 8.
I'll do 8.
Do I hear a 9 for the lovely 2 Hulks, a Thor, Spider-Man, and a
No.
Captain America? She's
You're
out.
out
All right, so the man in the green shirt
for 8.
for 8. So he's
Yeah.
moving down 8 on the track. So going forward,
I'm
you
sure.
only have 7 left on the next auction. I only have 10 to bid with. And Mel must go down 3, and she's forced to take these. There you go. There's your winnings, sir.
Thanks.
There you go. That's how the auctioning works and the bidding works. And what's next? Convention time?
Convention time, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to grab the convention deck, and we're doing the 5x5 grid thing
Oh,
again.
but you have to pass.
Oh, yes. I will choose.
We'll have to like look at our cards in between
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff and figure out how many points I need to pay for these things that I just bought before I discard them.
I'll choose Kyle to go first.
Oh, thanks. Which system is this?
This is
The
the
5x5
5
grid.
by 5. You can move the
Snake
cards
draft.
around.
Second visit to the convention. Okay. Let's lay them out here. How am I going to put these?
Am I moving first player? No.
No, you just got
At
it.
the end of it.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah, so you are going first. So, yeah, Claire, I'm sorry.
No, it's the card bend that.
Oh, is it the Ben?
Well, because some cards I can see fine.
So,
Most value.
so you can move a card optionally first, and then take a row or a column, name a hero, and grab all of them in the row or the column. I see a future career on Storage Wars, says Keith.
Let's move that there. Yeah, I'll just move that there. I'll say Thor.
Thor, okay. Okay, call the Thors. And now Mel gets to go. She can move around any one comic. But again, good example here. She could move like this Doctor Strange like that, but she can't move it and jump it to here or anything like that. She could move this one whichever way she wants, but or you can move like this one up or this one, like however you want, or nothing. The heck is Spider-Man Family? Some of these comics I just see every now and then, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And they're all real, so it's like,
2007.
yeah. Spider-Man Family with Doctor Strange, 104 pages.
Plus classic tales featuring the Green Goblin.
Whoa,
Okay.
and Spider and something.
What? Oh,
Whatever.
is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool to look at them sometimes and just be like, oh, that's neat.
Yep.
I'll take Doctor Strange if you can pass me those 3.
Doctor
Oh,
Strange?
and this one, actually.
Oh, how convenient.
too.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
I don't know if this is the best strategy of going third, but
Yeah, it's tough.
Sometimes you have more flexibility, though, when you can move them around more.
yeah. I guess people, if they know what they're doing, can mess you up too by blocking little pathways and things. What do we want to do today? Well, let's go here. And we'll just name Captain America, I guess.
You're trying to get that 48 points.
Okay.
And then, oh, let's see. What should that? Doctor Strange. Now back to
No.
Me? Oh.
yeah, Mel.
Hmm.
And then Kyle will go last. And there's also like an argument for just grabbing the most of something too, just so you have like money to pay for things, right? But then again, that like 4 of the same hero in a row could all be like 1s. Or you could go to another row and get 2 that are 3s, you know, like things like that. It's kind of fun. Like every time it's like different. It's like, what's your priorities? It's very neat. Like you could get into some massive analysis paralysis with this little phase, which I like.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go Iron Man.
Read the name on the comic.
How many points did you just get?
5.
I pay for those if she wants them in her collection, but they might be just used to pay for something.
She could have gone the other way, that's all.
Oh.
I thought she was going
So
to do.
Kyle, your move. Remember, you can move any one. So this like Thor down here, you could yoink it all the way up here and grab a bunch of Thors, for example. You could move this Spider-Man like down here and grab the Spider-Mans. But you do you. But I'm just showing like that you can get kind of crazy with the movement. Just has to stay within the 5x5 grid.
Yeah. Go down here. Spider-Man.
Boom. All right, and the rest are gone. Back to the convention deck. And we get to visit the convention one more time later.
You get to like, you can't trade cards out, right? The collection
No,
is set.
these are going to stay, the ones that are face down in front of you are in collections. But again, when you're redoing the collection adjustment, if it had like, say this had a Spider-Man on it, you could move it to Spider-Man as long as you left at least 2 in the other collection. So sometimes adding multiple heroes to a collection for later movement is a strategy.
You're never selling these.
No,
So.
they never leave once they're locked in. And I like to leave them in a separate row. And then when I'm doing that whole buy and assemble thing, I keep that separate. And then I slide them down and add them in. You could literally just put these in stacks, like however you want. But
I like seeing them.
Exactly.
What's step away now?
We are now in assemble and collect. So like you
build
in
that's
your...
where we are right now. Yeah. So take a look at your hand.
Did not want this. What it is.
So I'm going to lay out what I'm thinking of going into a collection with. Then I kind of see what's left in my hand, see if can that pay for all that stuff, and then maybe it does, and then I don't have to make hard decisions. Oh man, that cover is awesome. The only problem is what I found in this game, sometimes you can't get it, just like one random comic, like part 4 of 6 of a storyline. It doesn't have all 6 in the game,
Right.
which is like, it'd be fun if they made like sub collections like that, where you try to put together like all of the Civil War comics or whatever, you know, like, or points for those too.
The value of the comic in your collection means nothing, right?
No, only matters when you're scoring highlights or you're using it to pay for stuff right now before it goes in.
Yeah, but overall at the end, it doesn't mean anything.
Like, again, you have a whole collection of 1 cost Captain Americas. It gets you the same point as a whole collection of 3 cost Captain Americas because you're just counting each individual comic once. It just matters when you're adding to the collection for highlight value.
Yeah.
Edward says it's a good commercial for the Marvel Comics website where you can read all these comics online. Are you saying these exist in a digital form? I remember when like Android tablets were a thing, like 15 years ago. There was like 2 different websites where you could like read tons of comics on. Or not websites, they were apps. You could just read comics on your tablet and apps. Those were like, that was great for comics, I'm sure. People buying subscriptions, and I'm sure that stuff still exists. I don't remember what it's called though. It was like the Spotify for comics. It's cool. They will never leave your collection unless your mom raids your room and throws them out, Kyle. That's the only other. That's the variant rules. We're not playing this today. I mean, this game is expandable for sure. They could definitely beef it up and just sell you packs of cards. I smell a DC version coming down the pipe, I'm sure, if they get the license for it. Pull a Cryptozoic and just literally slap like different licenses on it and just sell it over and over again.
It's tough.
Or like Marvel Legendary, just never end. Just keep giving expansion after expansion because comics never end. Okay, so
How did I do that? All right, how many points we got? 3. You can hold 2 cards, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm good.
I'm not.
Take your time.
I will take my time. I'm gonna pay for that. This. Hmm. Let me go up a track. Oh, yeah, go up on both the tracks. I want to make sure I get on at least on each one of the highlight tracks, or I won't get any points for some of them. And then I have to do at least 2 stranges, or else they're not.
That's right.
I could. No, maybe I don't do strange. No, I should do strange.
I think you should just keep with Captain America. No?
Well, I'm not gonna waste stuff. I can just throw cards away for no reason. Okay, so this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll hold this one. Okay. So there's 9, 10, 11, 12 to pay for my 12 convention. So I'm starting a Doctor Strange collection. Oh yeah, I gotta do the highlights. Sorry. And first edition, is that my first appearance? 4 on that track, please.
Okay.
The next one is New Look, right?
Yep.
I am going up 2 on that track. And then the last one, Special Edition.
Yeah.
I'm going up 3, 4 on that track.
All right.
Okay, and then these are going in my collection.
Here's 14 to pay for my 14.
Okay. Let me check if it's real.
2. Yeah,
I need to check if these are authentic. Sorry, so there's a crease on this. It's not actually graded the 7 that it says. It's only a 5 at the highest. So yeah, anyways.
All right. First.
3, 4.
4. 1, 2, 3,
And then
4.
I have 3,
Whoa.
3 for the next one.
1, 2,
What the heck?
3. Or...
And then for the 3, 4, 5 for the last one.
Okay. All right, and then me, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. And then for scoring, for firsts, I have 1, 3 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have 1. I'm on the track for that one finally. And then diamonds, I have 2. Okay. These guys are going here. These guys are going here. And I'm holding 2 cards for
Okay.
next round.
All right. So we're going to round 3 or week 3 or whatever.
Flea market.
To the flea market. All right.
Oh, am I this rotating or one?
Oh yeah. So that was at the end of convention. You choose who's first.
The flea market is
The flea market is the adding a card or
The 3
taking a row.
rows.
oh
Add or take. All right. Let's start off by making a column of 3 rows, one per player. And I'm first, so I will choose to add a card. All right. Kyle, what do you want to do?
add.
Mel?
Add. He's gonna yoink that.
You don't think I have enough already?
Put that there.
I'll add. No. Okay. So this row is max. You can't add any more to it.
Yeah, I'll just take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Mel?
I'll add. Top row?
I'll add.
Does that points column matter, like who has the most of a certain like character?
No, you
No,
just
you
get
just
the
get the
point.
point.
Okay. So it's not like Mel has like more than me, so I'm
No.
like eliminate. Okay.
No. You're only fighting over stuff in the actual these kind of games. It's not at the end like you cancel them out or anything like that. Whoa. There's a 3 in here.
Yeah, we could have discarded a 3.
Not into the 2s.
Oh.
It obviously messed up. That's fine. Too much demoing.
I'll add
Add. Okay.
to the top.
I'll add.
I have to take it.
Yoink. Okay. And next,
Oh,
I'm going to give this to
we're going to the auction.
auction time. I'll give it to Kyle.
I don't think this one really matters, right?
You start the auction. You start the bid.
Yeah, you get the first bid on the first lot.
Wait, I have 8.
Well, no, you have 7.
No.
That
Yeah.
I don't know. My tracker says 8.
Listen.
that's
Just
your,
to
that
show
was
your
your
current
last
bid.
bid, wasn't it?
Yeah. What am I doing? 5 in a lot, 3 in a lot, and 4 in a lot. Okay. So there's the 3 different lots. Kyle, since you're first, you pick the lot and opening bid. And then we'll go clockwise, passing or bidding.
How much do you get for the points left over?
Whatever the points is.
So straight
right
points.
now you get 7.
Yeah. So if you bid on nothing, you would obviously have to take whatever's left. So that could be anywhere from you being forced to spend 3, 4, or 5 to take whatever's there, and then whatever's remaining, you'd have like maybe a couple points left. Or you bid on something, maybe you bid like 2 and you get something, and then you have like 5 points left. But again, look at what, like these are all 3 value, right? If they have highlights that are good on them, or add to your collections, or just use to pay for other stuff you want to add to your collections. Yeah.
Full bid.
Which one? Which collection? Which lot?
Middle.
Middle lot. So we're bidding on this 4 lot
1
of a beautiful Iron Man, an Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor all in one. So this could be moved around or whatever. And then we got Doctor Strange and another Thor. So Mel, what are you bidding, if anything?
2.
All right. I will bid 3. Kyle, do you want to bid 4 or you want to pass?
I'll bid 4.
I'm out.
I will bid 5.
I will pass.
So move me down 5 on the track there.
You're at 5.
And now I'm out of the bidding. It's my last auction. I get those cards. I pay for them. And now, Kyle, since you're first player, you get to stay. You're still in. So you now choose the next lot and do the first bid.
Mel would have to pay 5 for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now you're thinking. It's like you could just kind of. But then she gets 5 free comics that are not
sucks.
free, but are all 3 value. And even if she doesn't need them, those could pay for like anything she's got, you know?
I will bid.
So you're doing the 5 lot?
Yeah.
What's your opening bid, sir?
1.
1.
Because I only have 7.
Yeah. Mel has 12 bidding power.
Well, so high she goes. 3.
Big spender.
4.
5.
Well, you're not
6.
even jumping like 2 or 3 at a time.
7.
Mm,
Oh no.
I'm going to 8. Then you would be.
Can't add.
1, 2,
Be at 0.
I'm like counting. No, I know. I'm counting other things.
Oh.
And then he'd be. That'd be fine, probably.
Would it?
All right, I'll bet 8.
So Kyle's out because he can't bid any higher. So Mel spends 8,
And I lose 3 on these.
and she takes a lot. Yes, you
1,
must
2,
lose
3.
3, and you get
Yeah.
those to your collection, or to your hand.
Okay.
Sorry, to your hand. And possibly you make it in your collection, or used to pay for your collection later.
Okay, we're going to the convention.
So with the final visit to any place, then we'll do one last after this.
First.
We'll do one last assemble / collect.
Collection snake, right?
Yep.
Yep. So you
Um,
choose.
it can't be me.
Oh, okay.
It's me.
Just open up some options for me, please.
I'll try.
All right, here we go. Man, I had this comic for sure.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you put it back.
No, I think he's talking to real life.
Oh, in real life.
I
I
think.
feel like I had this comic as a kid in the 80s. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But it looks so familiar. Anyways.
Only you can validate.
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have all those. Mom, why'd
You used
throw
to
my
have like the box of them.
I do have a box
I don't
of
know where you put
some
them.
that I have, but I used to have more when I was younger. But obviously,
Yeah.
like when you got brothers and sister, you just play with them and rip them and whatever, and leave them somewhere, and your mom just throws them away because they left it in the place she doesn't want it. Then when recycling became cool and everyone started throwing paper in all the recycle, boom, there goes your comics. And you can go walk up and down the street and check people's recycling bins and find all those Nintendo Powers and all those comic books that people are chucking that I wish I took and didn't laugh at because now they're all worth money. But anyways.
Oh my
way.
gosh.
What?
Good.
Like you
3,
flipped like
3,
3.
3.
Look at the Iron Man.
I was shuffling between shuffling. And like,
Whoa.
yeah, I was shuffling at a time.
Thanks for letting me go first.
Oh, you
I
idiot.
could have chosen me.
I know.
She
Well-
she doesn't even have an Iron Man going.
Well, she could start with
Oh, but it just
4.
gets her
Or I
4
just-
cards. And two
Yeah,
and 3 of them are
that's the
3.
thing.
Or I just pay for the rest of my hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think I have to. I'm just gonna say Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Not even moving any cards either. Look at this.
No.
Okay. So now it's me.
Yeah.
All right. I know. Couldn't see my here.
That's fine. Like struggling.
Okay.
Makes you feel like you're really looking
Yeah,
through
yeah,
the boxes.
Yep. Trying to find that one edition. What do we even want? I don't know.
Captain America.
That was what I was going to do until you flipped all those Iron Men.
Kyle. Remember, you can move.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get to go twice in a row. So the
Oh, I
movement
do
you
get
do
to go
now
first.
can help you.
Mhm.
Like you could,
Oh.
for example, like move one out of here and throw it somewhere, even if you don't want it, to help you like get this one up in here somewhere, like, you know, something like that. Or like based on what you yoink could open up a path to move something else into a nicer second grab since you get 2 turns in a row.
Three. Spider-Man. Who's there?
Remember, look at your hand and see like what do you need? You know, do you have any other collections that are kind of like maybe you could pivot to something else?
Yeah, no. Just that would open up.
Kyle's officially taking this game seriously. I love it.
So I'll just move this here,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just say
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Remy, the game's begun. All right.
We're almost done. This is the last.
Yeah.
game.
We're getting close to the end.
I
Yeah.
did that wrong.
Hey, it's only a
It was in the
60-minute
top.
game too. Look, we're doing pretty good. I've been teaching the whole thing, and Kyle's never played before, so we're like teaching him and teaching everyone watching and playing along slowly,
Bulk.
Mhm.
showing that this game is way more interesting than it looks on its cover. Never judge a comic book game by its cover. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Three. So this, oh no, it's better to just do this. I'll say Thor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, Rob.
Okay.
Pretty much do whatever you want.
Hmm.
It's a nice little.
Hmm. Yep. I was looking for Thor's, Doctor Strange's, Spider-Man's maybe. So, I just want to get. I'll say Iron Man.
Okay.
Final pick.
I will. Let me take that. I don't care about that. So let's take Doctor Strange.
All right, so the auction is done. I don't think first player matters anymore, but technically you'd pass that to somebody else.
Pass it to you.
All right, sweet. And then we end our final round with a assemble / collection. And then we go to scoring. This is your final chance to add stuff.
Okay, I need a minute here.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Serious comic
The
book
stuff
collecting, you do
I-
not rush it.
Stuff I want to buy,
Takes years.
and this is how much I have to pay for it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Give me a minute here and I'll see what's what.
Put down 2, right? That's what we said. 2 is a new collection.
Yeah, to start a collection is 2, but it's worth nothing in scoring, so you might as well not even.
But it would be worth if you put it down for
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, but I thought the icon, doesn't that count?
Oh, yes, you're right. To go on the highlight track. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Yes. Because, yes, you'd be starting it with the 2. You'd get your if it had highlights on it that matter. You were correct. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that part of it. But then if it's just a 2 book, it doesn't count for varied collections, doesn't count for the hero tracker. Okay.
Hopefully that.
Yeah, so this I don't
What else
need.
we don't need? Unless. Nope.
Hey, I am ready whenever. Take your time. Take your time. Remy says, was hoping to get this live. And the reminder's set and all, but I was playing a game with my son, so I'll watch later. Hey, that's no explanation needed. If you're playing games instead of watching games, you're doing it right. It's still a win to have played a game tonight. 1,000%. Yeah, I would never be mad at you if you miss a stream because you're playing board games. That's the whole reason we're doing this, is to play games, okay? And promote the hobby, so keep doing it. Great. What game were you playing, Remy? Yeah, we were playing this last night with our daughter to learn it, and it was definitely fun. We definitely enjoyed it.
Oh, that sucks.
Can't afford that.
Well, I realized that the range was like, you have to get to 12.
Yeah, so if you have like 11 or 9, it's like those are the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's tiebreakers.
Hold on.
There's tiebreakers in the game. Hold on, let's find out what those are before you make your final decisions here. In the event of a tie, add up the points. Nope, that's not the right thing. The player with the most points has assembled the best comic collection and won the game. In the event of a tie, the player with the highest highlight sum wins. If there's still a tie, the player with the highest secret stash wins. If there's still a tie, the players share the win.
The highest of any highlight?
I think it's
like, oh, the
overall,
total?
overall adding them all up, yeah.
All right. I'm good.
I think I'm okay.
You're good?
One sec.
Kyle, you want to go into yours?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, I'll
Oh, sure.
check you.
16. 16.
Okay.
9,
I think so.
12, 13, 16.
Yep. Good. Okay, so
All
what's your
right, so
points?
highlights.
Highlights.
So first is
First
number one.
appearances.
3.
You just add them all together.
9, 12.
12 on that
12.
track. What's he at?
He's at 11.
So that will go to
it's gonna
23. So you
We're gonna
flip his token and wrap it around. So I guess
I'll
the
lay it
meeples
down.
don't. Sure, yeah. Laying it down, we know it's gone higher than 20.
Yep. Okay. The
4.
4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
And then
4.
none.
The diamond.
Yeah, none for that.
None.
Okay.
None. No
Okay.
additional.
You
Okay,
wanna
so
do
add to your
yours?
collection. Sure. So I'm adding a Captain America here to my collection. That's 1. 2 Doctor Stranges. That's 4 more. And I'm starting an Iron Man collection here, and this one is 10. So this should be 15, I think. And I'm gonna pay that with 16. No change. Doesn't matter carrying any forward or anything like that anyway. And then boom.
And then what do you have
boom.
for?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was
No
forgetting.
problem.
Okay.
First.
First appearances. I have 2, which totaling 6 points total.
Okay, you're going to 10. Okay, and
New looks.
new looks. Yeah.
4.
Okay.
And special editions, 4.
1, 2.
Plus 2 more. So
Okay.
6 total.
Okay. No worries.
Forgot
no
this one
worries.
has 2 on it. Makes
Okay.
it juicy.
So I have 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this should be 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Then for firsts, I have 3. 1, 2, 3. For new looks, I have 3, 4, 7, 10. And I go to 11. And then for diamonds, I have 2,
Special editions.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yes. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to start this one. This one is going to get added here, starting a Captain America. And then this one, I can put this in my Thor column or this one, but I don't think it matters because they'd both be 4. So
Yep.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
All right, you want to pass me a score pad?
Yep.
Want to show here? Probably should use this at the beginning to break it down, but this is more complicated, I think, than just showing it on the board because the board you stare at the whole time anyway. So you just write in the players who played, and you don't even need to touch this till the very end of the game, which I like. So at the end of the game, you write the player name in. Now, collection size, you just add up all the collections, total it up, other points off there, and just write it in that spot. Then any collection variety bonus for having 3 or more collections. Your secret stash points left over after bidding. And then your first highlight track, whether you're first, second, or third, what points you get for that. And then the same for the second, third, first, second, third highlight tracks. And then you add it all up for your total, and that's what you get. So you want to pass in a pencil?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write here. I'll do mine first.
We do some ties here, right?
Yeah. 1. Yeah.
See my chicken scratch. You do it like right here. Okay, so collection size. So if I'm looking on the track, I have Captain America there. This is what we're adding together is these kind of points. So my Captain America, if I do this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Whoa.
48 points. And then I have a Doctor... oh, yeah, sorry, you guys can't see. You can't see. So 12 for my Captain America. Doctor Strange, I have 5 in the collection.
5, so you're going to get another 10.
So that's 10, so that's 58.
Yeah.
And then I have an Iron Man collection here. It's got 4 in it.
4, so another 4.
Yeah.
62.
So 62 points for my first one there. Collection variety. I only have 3 different collections. So I get 5 little bonus points there. It's hard to write sideways here, but secret stash, what do I have left over? 5. Okay. And then my first highlight. So the highlight row, if we look here, so I'm the little yellow meeple on the first line. I'm in second.
Third.
I thought I was in second, so I'm going to stay.
Sorry.
But again, Kyle wrapped around, so he's actually almost lapping us here.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in third. I only get 3 points for that. So I'm going to write a 3 in there. And then the second highlight.
You and Kyle are tied for second. So I don't remember how that tied.
Tied for second. So I think we add second and third together and like divide up the points between us or something. Let me see. Highlights. In the event of a tie, add up the points of the place in question with the points of the place immediately below. Divide by the number of players tied, rounding down. So that is 12 plus 3 is 15. Divide in half, rounded down, 7 points each. And that's on the second one, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just write 7 there for Kyle right now. And then third.
You are second, so you get 12.
12 points. And then we all are going to help me add this up
I got
here.
a calculator.
I'm going to try to do it quickly here. 67, 72, 75, 40, 82, 84, 90, 94.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
All right, I did it.
job.
Okay.
Kyle, we'll go to you next, I think.
So Kyle,
No Captain America.
how big is your collection? And yes, size does matter.
How big is my collection? I got a
So-
Hulk with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 Hulk is 20 points.
Okay.
Okay. And then you have
My
a Thor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 points is 8.
And then I have Spider-Man with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6
6
is
Spider-Mans?
8.
Yeah.
36.
36 for Kyle's collection. Collection variety. How many different collections you got going there?
3.
So 5
5
bonus points. Secret stash. What do you got left
4.
over? 4. Okay. The first track, we know he's in first. So he's getting 15 for that.
Yeah. You already
Second
got
one,
a
we know he's
7.
tied for 7, and the
then
third one,
He's last, so 3.
3 points. So we're gonna add Kyle's score there. So we're at 41, 45, 49, 59, 66, and 69,
70 I got.
70. Oh yeah, that
yeah.
might be off. Yeah, what?
No,
70?
you're 70.
Is it?
36 plus 5 plus 4 plus 15
Might be right.
plus 7 plus 3. Yeah, 70.
Okay. Yeah, I messed up somewhere. I think
Yeah. And even.
I was trying to knock off points off his score wherever I could, but
Yeah,
you caught
I'm
me.
so close.
Okay. So Mel, what's your collection size going on over here? What do you got?
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Yeah.
There we go.
8 for Captain America, which is 20 points. Or not, I mean Doctor Strange. I don't know
Let's
this.
watch her. She
Sorry,
likes
I don't
to-
know the character name.
Can you put her in charge of the calculator over
This
there?
one
It's like Doctor Strange.
8.
It's 8. So
And then I
She
have
doesn't know who Doctor
Oh,
Strange
it's
is.
20.
20.
It's 20.
Then I have a Thor, which is 3, which is 4 points. Then I have a Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
8.
which is 8. Then I have a Iron Man 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 4. And then I have 1, 2, 3, which is 6. 42.
42 for her collection size. How much variety you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Which gets
15.
15 points. Whoa. Secret stash left over?
4.
The first highlight track.
I'm in second.
12
12.
points.
And then I'm in first for the other 2.
15 and 15. Whoa. All right. What we got for Mel here?
Clear.
If I go from the bottom, I got 30, 42, 46, 56, 61, 63, 83?
I got 103.
I'm probably completely wrong. Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm added 2 there.
2.
Sorry, 103?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't try my math skills like this on stream, but we all know what goes on here. I'm not hiding it. All right. So if this is correct, if the rules work correctly, I cross out this number and I subtract the difference between these two, and then I put in a new number there. So there's Mel's correct score. Just based on being the third on the sheet, we actually take some away from Mel, and she's left with 61. So that means I win. I'm just kidding. Bad joke. So Mel wins with 103. I got 94. And Kyle, our new player learning and playing for the first time, gets a respectable 70.
Yeah.
Not the best comic book collector. You notice that I watch the movies
No, like,
and trailers and knows when they come out and exact dates they all come out on. But he has no clue how to collect the comic books they're based on.
I knew when it came to the first collection, I was like, oh, I messed up.
Yeah.
First two.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I played totally wrong. And then I corrected for the second rounds.
Yeah. That's why I figured the first visit to each place, or like at least the first round until you get to your first collection assembling, that's when it clicks. When you're like, oh, I sell these and pay for these and I can only add these and then these are how highlights work. And yeah. So it's like one play and then you kind of get it and then you play again right away because the game usually only takes 60 minutes or less. But we're not going to play again here because we taught it and took our time but hopefully you can understand how the game works and see how it works with 3 players. And now you're going to hear Mel's thoughts on the game first.
Okay.
Remember, this is like a $30-ish Barnes & Noble set collecting point game, and you don't collect comics. You don't really care about superhero movies or anything.
I don't even know who some of the names are when I see them. The game is fun. What I really like about this game actually is the different ways that they use the drafting mechanics. So it's not always the same.
Yeah.
I find that fun. I like that there's a little bit, not too much, but there's a little bit of maybe take that.
Yeah, once you know what you're doing.
Where you're kind of seeing whether people are taking and maybe you want to take them. Or as you had said before, that maybe you just want to take expensive cards to pay for. And that's what I tried to do, especially at the end.
Gives you more
because I
buying
knew
power.
I had lots of cards that I could put out at the end to kind of build in to make extra collections. So I was like, I just really want to get the most 3 cost cards, even if I don't need them, so that I can pay for the other cards. So I like that they kind of are like dual aspect. But I think this is, as you also had mentioned, the game benefits you from playing once, kind of see how it goes,
Which
and then
most
you
games
play,
are like that,
and then you play again. You're like, oh, I see. Maybe I want to try this different way to play. But no, it's a definitely fun little game for what it is. Again, I don't really, the card quality, all that stuff. Okay, you already talked about that, so that's fine.
Yeah. I've already rambled about the components.
Yeah, but the game itself is fun. I think it's fun. And it's quick too. Like we were playing on stream, so it took a little bit longer. But when we played last night, it was probably less than an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Teaching, playing, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I'm trying to show everyone on stream. I'll also teach Kyle. So we do obviously take longer to present games on stream.
And I can see if you actually were into collecting comics, it would be very cool for you as you're pulling the cards out. You're like, oh, I really want that one just because you like that comic, or
So Kyle, based on you being a fan of like Marvel and all these superheroes and stuff, like, and I present this game to you like, oh, you might like this. I get this thrown in your stocking or whatever at Christmas, and you're like, here you go. It's like this game. And like, what do you think after playing? You play lots of really cool games, really complex, serious games. What are your thoughts on this more like lighter set collection game, but based on an IP that you like?
Yeah, I mean it's always good to have like a light game you
Mhm.
can pull out and play.
Yeah.
This one was enjoyable. Yeah, like definitely 3 rounds was good. Like, I don't- like
Like,
you
we
won't
get
want to go to
repetitive?
4, 5, whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, 3 is good just to like.
And it only goes up to 4 players too, so like even like everyone's involved in each turn. You're always doing something.
And you're
usually.
watching
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
right? What
It's-
other
So
people
there's no
are doing.
downtime, which is like
Yeah, and then the mix up with the different markets, like that's fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then every time you play, we have different heroes that are different value. You have different highlights to worry about, but you're always going through the same location in the same order. But again, what cards are there? What show up? What shows up at the convention? Who's interested in what? Always changes.
When you play with 4 players, you play with. I know you took some of these.
You play with
out.
all of
You
them.
play with everything. Okay.
Every hero, yep.
Oh, okay.
You'll have 1 in the top, 3 in the next, and 4 in the bottom.
Oh,
I
see.
think.
Okay.
I think that's how it goes.
I mean, you don't have to look it up. I was just curious if you
Yeah.
played with everything or yeah. That's cool.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, the schedule really is cool how it varies it up. And then also the passing the first player is kind of neat in this game. Like you choose, so you can strategically kind of put yourself in a specific order, which is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you play again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the game. It's definitely. I see the hype at Gen Con. Definitely was there for it as like an affordable game, but with a Marvel license. Actually, had some good buzz because people have already been playing it. I guess that like imported copies and printed English rules and stuff. So people are enjoying it just because they really wanted like the authentic, comic book art covers. Like they're real comics, which is super neat. And then they're trying to stay like true to the like if it's a first appearance and like what years it came out, which generation. It feels like if this game sells well enough, like it's totally open for expansion, but I don't know if it's meant for that. It seems like it might be the game they just kind of packaged up to put in like Barnes and Nobles for casuals to grab it off the shelf and maybe get a game in their collection.
Yep.
Or find it at Target or something. This is definitely a game that comic book stores should be selling for sure to players to get them into board gaming and stuff. But yeah, it's not too complicated. You know what I like about it? The different drafting little mini games make it feel like kind of like I'm playing Mario Party.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, oh, here's the new little mini game. Here's little rules. We're gonna play a little Mario Party. Try to mess with each other. I'm gonna try to push you up a little higher on your bidding, or maybe yoink something you're trying to get, or move around to block you on the convention floor. Mess with the vendor's booth and try to grab what you need. But yeah, the theme is like tying it to different drafting. It's like, okay, it's a little of a stretch, but really, you're just collecting, like grabbing stuff, and then I'll sort it out later, like, which is fun. It's just like hoarding. You're just hoarding comics and then like trying to like refine it to like the best collection to like present, at the end, which is neat. I don't know. It's a cool little game. Like, it's a cool way to tie the comic collecting to a game. It definitely reminds me of that other one we got at Gen Con this year and played, that Video Game Champion. The same kind of idea. Like we're trying to like, rent games, buy games, collecting scoring points. Like they, though, didn't have official license. They use like fake video game covers and stuff, but it still gave that nostalgia feel. But this using official stuff is definitely gives that little edge to like desirability for people. But I do think that Video Game Champion is like a better game for sure than this. But I like a little more meat on my bones of my games. But yeah, definitely a fun kind of like light drafting game. I like the way that all the different drafting. Definitely like something like Sushi Go or whatever is like, has its drafting, but it's like it's the same drafting and
Yeah, it gets repetitive, right?
yeah, usually games only use one style of drafting. So it's kind of neat it does 3 or 4 different kinds of drafts. And again, they could easily add expansions to this, add other more comics, could increase the player size, add different locations, come up with different drafting methods, add on little boards and things to kind of get more nutty with it, but maybe not. I don't know. It's weird that it doesn't have money. When I heard it was a game about comic book collecting, I'm like, I thought it would come with like a little stack of like money cards or paper money or little chips or something to like, you got to spend for your collection. And then I heard there was bidding and I was like, it must have money.
Yeah.
Then when I find they just do the whole Marvel Champions things where like your cards are also their currency.
Yeah.
So you discard cards to pay for cards.
Well,
It's very clever and
they only
clean.
have so many cards, so they have to cycle them back somehow.
Yeah.
True.
That's true. Yeah, very cool. Very cool little game. Yeah, definitely cool. That's Comic Hunters by Spin Master Games, I think it is. And yeah. Oh, Jacko says this was the last game I bought at Gen Con.
Oh, nice. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, Jacko, did you play it? What are your thoughts on it? Or is it sitting on your shelf of shame like we do every year where we grab a whole bunch of games at Gen Con? We're like, okay, let's buy less this year. We for sure can play them all this year, right? Right? And then somehow there's a few that creep into next year or just never get played ever.
Have we played, whether it be off stream or on stream, all the games that we got from Gen Con? I think so, right?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Probably close.
probably close.
But no.
No?
There's definitely an expansion we didn't play
Oh, okay.
yet. I don't know.
Okay. I was
I'm
just
not
curious
sure.
if we're how close we are.
Shelf of Shame currently.
Oh,
well,
that's okay.
now, Jacko, you can go back to the start of the stream, watch the whole thing over multiple times, make sure you get the rules down pat, because this is a heavy game. Lots of rules. So you need to watch this video at least 15 times, sitting through all the ads, clicking the like button only once, though. And yeah, then by then you should be fine. Then you can play it. No problem.
Jackal, though, our daughter loved it. She really liked it. So.
Yeah. And it's like simple, fun, colorful, but like, again, if they're not into comics, like she knows of the comics from all the movies and
Yeah, she
stuff.
watches all the Marvel stuff, yeah.
She's like, she had comics since she's younger. She went with us to the comic store a bunch of times and
Yeah.
got some comics and things.
Yeah.
Great way to teach your kids how to read, by the way. Comics, still a thing. Because there's comics for everything now. You go to the comic book store, you're like, oh, it's only superheroes, Marvel, and DC. No, everything has a comic. Everything. Any show you can think of, any children's toy line, they all have a comic. Everything. So check out your comic book store. Great way to get your kids reading with your kids and like getting them to read just small little speech bubbles and, you know, not following along. Just don't buy them the Japanese ones where it's like backwards, because that might mess them up when they go to school and they're trying to read a book and they're going like from back to front and right to left and all that. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Those are still cool because you can get like Zelda ones and stuff. But anyways, Christmas break is coming. Yeah.
Do you still collect comics?
Me? No.
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 I got to say, the only comic I ever read was the Walking Dead ones.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I was really into those.
And I never read any of those. But I remember, yeah, we used to hunt them down for you and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, whoa, Mel's in the comics. That's an excuse for me to go to the comic store. Let's go.
And then it was like, we would go to get those, but then Chelsea would always want something. So we have to buy
My
her
Little
something.
Pony
or My Little
comics.
Pony. Or I remember she got the Wonder Woman ones. She
Oh yeah, the
liked.
Wonder Woman
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they have ones for kids that are like, they're like smaller books, but they're like definitely meant for teaching reading and stuff.
Yeah.
That were like more toned down stories, that were like drawn from real comic stories, but just toned down to like little more kids books. We actually started her on those before like full-fledged comics, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we were secretly getting her into board gaming and she didn't even know it.
And if you're interested in getting into comics, I forget what month it's in, but Free Comic Book Day happens every year. It's been happening for like at least a couple decades, I think now. But go find out, Google when Free Comic Book Day is. It's run by tons of comic book stores. They're all part of like this thing. They get a big box package that comes and it's from all different comic book publishers will publish a free special comic that they'll give to all these stores in piles. You just go in and you can pick whatever you want off of a table. And it's just a way to sample a whole bunch of different types of comics. Even things you never even thought you might like. You can get a free little one and they'll have like comic stories. Sometimes they have like more than one comic or IP in the same book. And you can read like the front of it, the back of it, whatever. And then it's a great way to try comics and like maybe get your kids to try different ones and see what they like. And then, you know, then you can go back and kind of instead of like buying a bunch of different comics and then finding they don't like this, they don't like that. It's a cool way to just try different ones and see what's popular and stuff like that. Definitely a cool time to go to the comic book store because it's like a lot of people will be there. It's a buzz. Some stores now will hold like sales that day and giveaways and barbecues outside for free and stuff like that, or raising money for charity and stuff. But yeah, check out Free Comic Book Day.
He says it's usually
in May?
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
because we used to. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
The other thing that a few comic book stores that I've seen have done is around report card time. If your kids get good grades in the report card, they'll give the kids free comics.
Mm-hmm.
So
you come in, you show your every A you have. Every A or whatever 80 plus or
I don't
whatever
know
it
what
is.
they do now, but yeah.
Yeah, you get a free comic. It is out of their basement like
But even
junk
so-
collection that are worth pennies, but they still just let the kids go in those boxes and pick whatever they want.
Yeah.
So cool. Such
yeah.
a cool thing just to get kids reading and stuff. And basically get them hooked as customers.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be hooked on that than like Happy Meals and stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, they're reading, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, But anyways, that's it for this week with Kyle here playing a game. We will be back Saturday, possibly wrapping up our Fate Forge series, playing that game. Maybe, assuming we can pull it out or not. It's the final couple scenarios, we think.
Yeah.
So tune in for that. More games to come over the holidays. Mel's off work. We're going to play a bunch of different games. Hopefully Kyle joins us next week. We'll find out later. And yeah, we'll play something next week. We got other games coming up. So stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. If you like this video, obviously hit the like button. Thank you to these people for supporting us here. Big shout out to them. Thank you. And yeah, everyone enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.